What's up? What's up? I'm Joshua Christensen. Listen, today I want to talk to you about crunching numbers. This is kind of a big deal. So I'm sitting and I'm penciling a deal this morning, working on this thing and throwing some numbers around, and I had this crazy idea. So I don't know which side this thing's on, but check out. This is the stupid little meme that I posted today in our real estate investing group on Facebook, and I just asked everybody if they understood what that meant. So you guys can make whatever comments you want down below. I thought it was kind of funny, but that's my sixth sense of humor, right? So crunching numbers, penciling a deal, underwriting, it's all kind of the same thing. Right? It's how do you come up with a decision once a deal's presented to you, or you find an off-market deal, whatever the situation is, and how do you run your numbers to decide if this is a deal that you want to make an offer on, and how are you going to put that together? What are your assumptions? Things like that. So there's three things that you got to really be clear on when you're looking at your numbers. All right, so the first thing is you really need to know your goals. I see too many would-be investors go out and they're not real clear on what they're trying to accomplish. They've got multiple different strategies bouncing around in their head, and if that's you, it's a surefire way to miss out on a lot of great opportunities because you're not real clear on what you're trying to accomplish. So you got to know what your buy box is. Obviously, you know, what type of properties do you want to buy? What's your tolerance for risk? Do you want D class, or you want to go into Section 8? Do you want to go into Airbnbs, single families, multifamilies, whatever, right? So you got to know what your buy box is. But the two critical pieces that are going to help you determine your offer are: is this going to be a long-term hold for cash flow? Or is it going to be a short-term hold for capital gains? Your short-term holds are not typically, they don't generate a lot of cash flow. They're great for building capital to put into other deals, but where you really build your longevity is in cash flow, and you hold on to properties for a long time. So how you view your offer is going to be different. On a long-term hold, you might be willing to pay the full price, and in some cases I'm actually willing to pay over asking price if I can get some creative terms with the seller. On a short-term capital gain, you have to make sure that you're buying the property at the right price, because you're going to add value to that property and ultimately raise the value, but you're getting rid of it in such a short period of time, within a couple of years, that you need to make sure that there's enough margin there to flip that property. All right, so that's the first thing. So the second thing is know your options for creativity. All right, so are you going to be doing sub 2? Are you going to be doing owner financing? Are you wrapping an underlying mortgage? Have you had a conversation with the seller, and do you know what the seller's looking for? You know, what's their pain point? What's their goal? Do they have to sell? You may throw ridiculous offers out to a seller that doesn't have to sell, and so now you're just adding insult to injury. If they don't have to sell, make them a reasonable offer. If they don't accept it, at least they're still your friend, and you can come back to them 6 months from now. You can come back to them a year from now. Just keep following up with them, because something may change in their life when they decide to sell, and you could have a great opportunity there. But if you insult them out of the gate, you'll never have another conversation. They're not going to want anything to do with you. So you got to know your options, right? So what's important to that seller? You need to know how long it's going to take you. If you do some kind of a creative deal with subject to, with owner financing or something like that, how long is it going to take you? How long are you going to hold that for? You're going to do it for 1 year? Is that what it's going to take to be able to refinance them out? or for you to flip it or sell it? Are you going to do it for 5 years, 10 years? So know what those terms are and what your options are going into it for anything that you're trying to do creatively. All right, the third thing, you need to know your projections, right? So this is where you start getting into the nuts and bolts of your income and expenses, right? Everybody is different in their approach to this. There are so many different ways that people underwrite their deals. I underwrite deals very differently than a lot of my clients, and I've gotten to the point where I kind of stopped underwriting for my clients because they come back and tell me I'm crazy for whatever projections I'm putting out there. And I project things differently than a lot of people. So you have to know, what are you projecting for your rents? How aggressive are you? Some people are incredibly conservative. Some people are overly aggressive. You've got to know your expenses. Are you going to have a property manager? Are you going to self-manage? That is a big factor, and it's a 10% swing, right? Are your tenants paying the utilities, or are you paying the utilities? So all of these factors come into how you underwrite and know your projections, all right? So that's your 3 things. Know your goals, understand what your buy box is, know your options for creativity, and know your projections, your income and expense projections, all right? Here's the big mistake that I see, and I'll leave you with this. Too many buyers make ridiculous discount offers. If you want to go out and write a bunch of offers that are just absolutely ridiculous, you're going to waste a lot of time, but you're going to get really, really good at writing offers. And most sellers aren't that desperate, so you're not going to close very many deals. And it's a huge mistake. So you want to be able to get deals, even if there's not a lot of meat on the bone. Is there some meat on the bone? Close those deals, get your wins, get your early wins. Your early deals as you're getting started aren't going to be big fat deals. Those don't really come until a little bit later, once you're a little bit more proven and deals start coming to you. But when you're out looking for them, chances are the stuff that you're looking at isn't going to be a big fat deal. And if it is a big fat deal, if you saw it, so did everybody else. There's a lot of competition for those deals. So, have the right mindset when you're putting deals together, and get creative and have a lot of fun. I mean, this is where you crunch your numbers, and you can make all the mistakes you want on paper. Remember this also, writing offers doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you anything. You're not putting earnest money down. You're not paying for inspections. All you're doing is spending a little bit of time writing up a letter of intent and sending it off to the seller to see if they're even open to what you're suggesting. So don't be afraid to write offers. Doesn't cost you anything. All right. So, guys, that's the gist today. Crunching numbers. Have a fantastic Friday. It's Good Friday.